I was shooting my first little big gig for Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
The hardest decision is every day I have to delete my cards.
Right.
I wake up the next day and I was ready to put some stuff together. Nothing.
Nothing.
My bills be like, that's cute, but at the 15th of every month, you got to pay this. At the 1st of every month, you got to pay that. I know you're going through. I know you're tired.
Yeah.
But
this is coming up.
This is going. I think that if it works for your brand, then use it.
Use it.
You have to walk in authority so that people can feel like they can trust your process. Like if you're timid, if you look like you're not confident in your way, they're gonna feel that based off of the way you look.
Yeah.
So you still have to walk in some type of confidence.
How did you bounce back from that? Because that's a big deal.
That's a big deal, but.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode number 4 of the Creative Den Pod. Today, this is a good one, man. If this guy did not take his time to teach me some stuff, I probably wouldn't be here today. I don't know. There's no way to know. But this guy, videographer, photographer, graphic designer, basketball player, singer, rapper, he does it all, man. This is my good friend. I call him a mentor. This is Dorrell Edwards.
Ooh, government. I love it.
Yeah, boy. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining the pod, man.
Yes. Anytime, man. Anytime.
It's been a long time coming. I know I did a little bit of a, injustice probably introducing you.
No, I think
there's a lot of stuff that you do, so
yeah.
I'm gonna let you take your time and tell the people.
Man. How much? No, I'm joking. I was about to say, how much time we got? But no, I mean, if to sum it up, I'm a videographer, photographer, graphic designer. You named everything that I am. A music artist, a father, a husband, all of those things that people supposed to say. But I'm really, in a nutshell, I'm a person that loves to give life when I see opportunity. I'm a person that like to help people build and grow.
For sure.
And I'm a person that if we're connected, we're going to do something that you said that you want to do. We're not going to just talk about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and this is living proof.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
We've talked about this before.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and we always have our conversations. So it's always like 50 million things that we talk about where it's like, man, we're going to do this. And then all of a sudden next week, somebody did it.
Yep.
So I just love to be connected to people that's pushing, the culture forward and pushing their dreams forward.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dope, man. I'm glad to have you here. I remember when we met. I don't know if you remember this. This was, I think, 2011 when you guys did the Folgers?
2011.
So 2011, you were creating a jingle for Folgers. You obviously, you and my brother, you guys did music back in the day together. And that's how I met you. My brother brought me along.
Yeah, shout out to Tim.
Yeah, man. You guys were filming for this. It was a competition with Folgers.
Yeah.
Placing it in. You guys ended up, second or third?
We ended up in the top 10.
Yeah.
So, and backstory on that was, we was actually, Lad and Debbie was actually putting together that mixtape. And, I think Toon was actually helping produce something.
Yeah.
And we all came to my house to record it. And my friend told me about the jingle contest.
Gotcha.
And was like, hey, I think you should get in it.
Yeah.
And so Lad and Debbie and Toon was at the crib. And I was just like, I'm thinking about doing this. And I had a little rinky-dink beat, already made. But I figured I got musicians in the room.
Right.
So, why not let them hear it so they can do whatever? And so, basically, Toon and Debbie, everybody just jumped on the keys and started putting together something.
Yeah.
And basically, they put their sauce on top of what I already had.
Nice.
And then I was just like, well, at this point, it's kind of already done now that y'all done made it official.
Right.
But now I need y'all to sing background and we got to do a video.
That.
And so
the oohs and the ahs.
Yeah. So they was really acting at that point. But I mean, they can actually sing too.
Yeah.
So it was just if we do live performances and things like that, let's just run with it.
Nice, man. I actually watched that video back a couple weeks ago, and I remember seeing myself in the back again. And I feel like that was the first time that I actually held a camera.
Really?
And in a sense of something that goes out to the public.
Like a project.
And that was the first time I looked through because you were like, hey, can you help out with this?
Yeah, I remember. I was just like, anybody, I just need somebody to do this. It's already set up. Just do it.
And then fast forward 6 years after that.
Yeah.
That was when we shot our first wedding.
Dang. So 2016.
Yeah.
We shot Sabrina and Joe's
And
wedding.
Joe's wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember that. And I remember it was so many people that used to be like, "Oh man, if you just teach me this and that and that." And I was just like, "All right." And then I'll give them an opportunity, they'll come with nothing.
Yeah.
Everybody would come with nothing
Right.
and expect everything. He was like, "Bro, I already got my camera, this and that and that." And at the time, he was putting out dance videos too.
Yes. Yep.
So it was just like, I think that it was just like, wow. I mean, well, we already in the wheelhouse with your brother.
Right.
So I already know the product is there
Right.
and the dedication.
Right.
So let's just see if he's gonna be serious about this.
Yeah.
And when you actually came, I think you had a tripod too.
I did.
You know what I mean? And you
did.
came with your setup already ready. And I kind of put you in the fire in a sense.
Man,
I put
in the fire, bro. I watched that wedding back and I cringe, man.
Oh man, it's and the thing is,
Sorry to Jones.
that's what I'm saying. I'm sorry. And it wasn't the fact of like it was bad to them. It was bad to us as creatives now.
Yeah.
When I mean, I think that's how I look
That's
at
how
all
it
my
is.
work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I get better in a certain field that was kind of hard for me or difficult to like fully like, how can you say it? Like fully like master.
Mhm.
I think at that point we didn't master, sound. We didn't master. I mean, it was a lot of stuff that I didn't master. And then for me to try to train you to do something on the day of, it
Right.
was like, here you go, bro. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna just come around and spit in your
Yeah.
ear from time to time, tell you certain things.
Man.
But I think that being thrown into the fire like that equip you to actually go back and study based off of your errors.
Definitely.
And I think that's where I was so impressed with you because it was just like, you're not expected to be great.
Right.
I'm not expected to be great. I'm just willing to teach you what I do know and learn at the same time. And I think you took that same approach.
Which I totally appreciate because I think I remember the first time you hit me up about something specific where I posted a picture of my camera settings on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I was shooting 4K 24, but my shutter speed, bro, was at 240. I remember clear as day. He hit me up. It's like, maybe you should change that. And and then you started telling me like, okay, it's double, the frame rate, doing all that. And then I started learning and like picking it up that way. And like, bro, I remember calling you just a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm doing this. How should I go about it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing this, headshots. How should I go about it?
Yeah, I remember that.
I just remember like you being open and willing to like take your time and like just walk me through the steps, which I definitely appreciate, bro.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I think it speaks for itself how far you took. Because I think we can only teach you. Well, like I can only be taught what I would dissect, and at the same time, I still got to go out and produce.
Right.
So I think I gave you like almost like a template, and then a crash course by throwing you into the fire.
Yeah.
But I think within that, your resilience came and your mental stability of being able to be like, I can take this on. Like this ain't gonna break me. Because most people be like, yo, that was too much. I'm done.
Right.
And I feel like a wedding is the essential like project to throw somebody in for everything right away.
Yes, because you can't change anything.
Yeah, because I mean, in this setting, we can stop, you can play back, we can do it over.
Right.
But in a wedding setting, it's just like you gotta do one of one.
Man.
So and I hate to do that on people's days.
Right.
And of course, I have a I want to say like a fail-proof system on the other end to make sure like I was still going behind and doing my own footage for you. So that it wouldn't be just like on some like I put him out there, like. But I think that weddings do define your career if you really want to get into that film space or photography space with like every situation, learning lighting, technique, frame rate, audio, everything. So I think, like I said, you did a dope job.
Appreciate it, man. We'll come back to this because I remember this mistake that I made. I'll come back to that. Let's talk about Always Timeless Production. That's the name of your production company.
Yes.
Tell us how you came about that.
So Always Timeless Productions was established back in college. I was a college student. I was a music artist. I was in a Christian rap group at the time called the Representatives. Shout out to the Reps. And we were like opening up for everybody. Lecrae, Cross Movement, all of these different Christian artists back in the days when they was like not doing that. And our music was very lifestyle Christian music. It wasn't based off of like Genesis, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy stuff. It was like, look, I'm going through this situation with these people. Lord, how can I, get through this?
For sure.
And so we would speak our raps through parables. And from there, basically, we needed to actually uh, have studios
Mhm.
to record.
Mhm.
We used to record at the radio station at our school, but we would go in at like 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. It's so tired and
Yeah.
late, and we'll
Okay.
get like 1 or 2 songs in.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's 5 or 6 of us in this rap group, including the DJ and everything. So everybody would have to come prepared with their verses and things like that.
Mhm.
And we would have the guy who was on the radio station. Shout out to Jody. He was the guy. He would engineer us.
Guys.
I kind of got tired of that.
Mhm.
Not based off of like, man, we got to wait on him, but just the enthusiasm that I had behind the music at the time. It needed more than 12 o'clock at night on the weekends.
For sure.
It needed every day.
Yeah.
So I took my little refund check. I bought a little computer. Went to Walmart, bought a mic, put some toilet paper in front of it for a pop filter. And we started recording our projects like that. And then eventually I started to hustle on the side and make money off of things.
Nice.
Campus car wash, campus haircuts, all of these different things just to make money for this dream. And so I was taking it as approach of like, if we can't get people to fund us, then we're gonna fund ourselves.
For sure.
And we was about to sign a deal with the Grits. I don't know if you remember the Grits, but it was a Christian rap group called the Grits. They was gonna sign us this deal. I don't even know how much it was. It wasn't a lot of money, but the deal wasn't the greatest deal. And my manager said no. And at that point, I was just like, let me just buy a camera, all of the little equipment, and let's just see if we can like provoke people to actually want to fund us. So that's how Always Timeless kind of came.
Okay.
And so basically at that point, I was shooting them or filming, and I was recording them in the studio. And it was just like, all right. And then I was going to school for graphic designing. So naturally, Always Timeless was a project for my grade.
Gotcha.
Like I literally if you see the first Always Timeless logo, I was so confused in my life. It was like speakers with Always Timeless. It was just it was me trying to combine everything that I do in a logo.
Yeah.
And it was just like, dang, I had to learn typography. I had to learn so many things. And that's why my style is so clean and simple now, because it's just like less is more. That's what I learned.
Right.
And so along the journey with music, I just always wanted to make timeless music.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to make something that no matter when I put it out, it still hit. I wanted to make something that no matter what era we in, it's still relevant. And so that's what Always Timeless kind of came off.
Nice.
Between that and I heard, Jay-Z said it in a record, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And so it kind of resonated, and that's kind of how it came out.
Okay. And then did you deviate from doing graphics, or were you, like when you started that company, were you doing everything, graphics,
So
video, photography, and then eventually became what it is now?
So I was doing graphics just off the strength of like my school.
Gotcha.
I was doing photography just because we had to use our photos for graphics. And my teacher at the time was like, nah, you don't Google nothing. You have to go photograph something and then use that to create your projects.
Gotcha.
Now, my church back at home, the Ram Church International, I asked my bishop if I could start the media ministry.
Okay.
Back then, we didn't have like cameras to record, and YouTube was brand new. This is like 2005, 2004, 5, 6, 7, one of those years. YouTube was so brand new. And I was just like, Bishop, I think this would be good for us to start filming the church segments so that we have some type of, product to give out to saints throughout the week.
Sure.
Videos, DVDs, we can sell it and all of that.
Yeah.
And I was just doing it out the strength of my own like heart. And I just was like, all right, bet. So photo and video kind of came into play there. And then music kind of was the piggyback, because I was already doing that. Everybody around campus already knew me for that.
Yeah.
So those was the three things.
Gotcha.
Graphics came in once I had to design DVD covers and everything for people.
Okay.
Flyers for the church.
Yeah, nice. How did you decide which one you really wanted to focus on? Because that's a lot of everyone's questions, right? Especially as creatives, we have so many outlets.
Yes.
And sometimes it is hard and tough to decide which one you want to use.
Yes.
Like, did you find yourself in like different seasons of life? You were like, okay, this is the one I could use now. Or was it just like, man, I just need to cut something out at some point?
I think it was more so seasonal. Everything was seasonal. But what happened was photo and video became like permanent in a sense.
Gotcha.
Because it was so relevant for the church.
Mhm.
It was so relevant for the music. It was so relevant for just documenting your life.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it wasn't called vlogging back then, but we would film ourselves doing everything.
Right.
I mean, it was just like you see your stars and your celebrities and musicians that
Mhm.
go before you that got all of this old footage
Right.
from back in the day. So we just started documenting ourselves.
Nice.
And I was the guy that was just around with the camera.
Yeah.
You know.
It was like that back
Oh
then?
man, I had the big boy. I had the big boy with the tapes. You
Oh,
had
yeah?
the, man, it was crazy. And I
Yeah.
thought I was doing my thing. I bought
Right.
2 of them.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like it was
Right.
internal, like I think it was 128 gigs
Oh,
internal.
man.
Oh, it was the greatest. It
Nice.
was the greatest.
That's
Now when I
cool.
look at it, it's just like that was a handful, bro.
Right.
Like, and you still had to have those little mini tapes and take them off and switch them off and dump
Mhm.
them. So it was crazy, but it introduced me to a system
Mhm.
of how to back everything up,
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
store everything. So
Which is important,
it's
actually.
super important.
Have you ever, one mistake have you ever done this where you have a gig, right?
Hmm.
You think you backed it up.
Oh man.
Days later, a week later, when you're actually ready to edit, you're trying to look for it, you can't find it.
And it's gone. Yes.
Ever made that mistake before? Because I have. I remember, and I've only done it on 2 occasions, and it was always something that I was doing for my wife.
Okay, I hate to say that, but that's better than a client in a sense because she's more forgiving than a client.
Oh man, I see her about it today sometimes.
Oh,
But you know what I mean.
That's crazy.
Yeah, bro.
Man, okay, so I'm gonna just tell you about a recent one.
Yeah.
So, and I think I probably told you this already, but I was shooting my first little big gig for Netflix,
Mhm.
and I was doing that tour where we had to basically walk 902 miles from
Yeah.
basically Virginia to New York, and we did basically the Harriet Tubman Underground Railroad
Mhm.
type of thing. And so my good sister from my church back home, she hired me. She was just like, bro, I think you'll be the best candidate for the job.
Yeah.
We're gonna do this where you basically film every single day. We're gonna be living in the RV for the next 30 to 60 days.
Oh, man.
And you got to document basically everything.
Yeah.
And you don't have to edit anything. You
Mhm.
just got to back it up accordingly. We're going to get a production company to edit,
Yeah.
but you got to follow all Netflix guidelines.
Gotcha.
So I went out, I got 2 C70s.
Yeah.
I mean, I got the whole shebang.
Right.
Like we had the budget for it. It's like, let's do it.
Yeah.
So I get the whole shebang and I got hard drives and everything to back up. And I bought 2.
Mhm.
Now I bought 2. One was for me, one was for her.
Yeah.
So we can mirror everything. And I
Sure.
mirror everything every single day. I labeled every single day. But this one specific day, we go to like Albany, New York, and the mayor and everybody is out there and they giving this big speech. And we had a beautiful day. It was a
Mhm.
gloomy day. I remember it was a gloomy day. And after it was over, we went to go get like pizza or something.
Mhm.
Now, I mean, if you know me, I'm the type of person that I bring people's spirits up. So I'm
Sure. Oh yeah.
laughter, I'm hugs, all of that type of stuff because like I do not like to work around people who are not their true self.
Right.
Right? So we having a good time. I go back, I back it up, I fall asleep.
Mhm.
Now, the hardest decision is every day I have to delete my cards.
Right.
I don't have 50 million cards. I got
Yeah.
2 512 gig cards every single
Every
day
single
where I
day.
got to dump.
Mhm.
I got to double check both.
Right.
And then I got to look at my card. And then I go through the list of every video just to make sure it's on the hard
there,
drive
yeah.
before I press format again.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, this day I figured I got the system down. And I literally do that whole thing. I wake up the next day and I was ready to put some stuff together. Nothing.
Nothing. Oh
A
my
whole
gosh.
man, I was mad for the rest of the tour
Oh man.
because of that one mistake.
Yeah.
Because you know how it is. Like
Yeah.
you can do everything beautifully every single
that
day, but if
one
you mess
thing.
up one thing,
Yeah.
you gravitate into that one moment that I had an error where somebody can say I either fumbled or, in a sense, I played too much or whatever the
Right.
case they can make up with that day.
Yeah.
So I was mad because that was a whole day of footage that I didn't get.
Oh man, how did you bounce back from that? Because that's a big deal.
That's a big deal, but we ended up running into all of those people again and kind of shot some stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it
Okay.
was cool, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah.
It
For
wasn't
sure.
the same.
For sure.
So, and then
Oh.
I think the beauty in that whole scenario is a lot of that stuff wasn't going to be used for the footage. I mean, for the film.
Right.
So a lot of it was extra, and then that season, that portion was extra.
Gotcha. That's what's up. That's cool though that you got to do that.
Yeah,
It's a good journey and just story hearing
yeah.
that. But going back to Always Timeless ATP. So you're from Virginia. You moved out to Arizona.
Hmm.
Obviously, you had your clientele in Virginia.
Yeah.
Starting over in Arizona.
Oh man.
How was that?
So Virginia, I'm from Richmond, Virginia. I went to school at Liberty University, which is like the #1 Christian college in the country.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know all of that at the time. I was
Right.
just going to school.
Yeah.
So by the time I left, we call it the Liberty Bubble. You know
Gotcha.
how like you go to GCU and it's like
Right.
everything is all
Everyone
about
just
God, everything is so structured. But
Mhm.
once you get out into the real world,
Yeah.
you're outside the bubble.
Right.
So we used to be like, man, now that you step out into the Liberty bubble, let's see if you really sold out for God and
Yeah.
all this type of
Yeah.
stuff. And so basically, I'm a people person. So naturally, when I came out here for music engineering, which is recording, learning how to engineer projects. And I was going to a school called Conservatory,
Okay.
which is like a recording arts school based out of Gilbert and Tempe. But I told God, I was just like, Lord, I don't think I want to work.
Mm.
Like I really was doing all right in the city.
Mm-hmm.
And now that I done came out to this new city, I don't want to put that pressure of getting jobs and trying to do all of this when I told everybody I was going to be great. And I think that when I first got out here, I really got on the ground to learn the city first.
Gotcha.
I would literally drive around, find out where Tempe was at, Phoenix, all of the spots. But obviously, in Arizona, there's not a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to diversify your audience.
Right.
So the first thing that I did was I got with a church
Mm-hmm.
because I was just like, I'm not in my church. I know that if you put yourself in a church system, structure, you can find everything in the house.
For sure.
Or at least you can find your starting point in the house to where it would actually allow you to go in the right direction when you need to find whoever else is outside the house.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's basically what I did. I connected to a bunch of churches when I got out here. And then I want to say along the journey, I stumbled across the lighthouse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember the lighthouse,
Yeah.
but the lighthouse was basically a buddy of mine. And he basically had a music showcase that
Gotcha.
had a lot of Christian artists that would come under one roof.
Mhm.
His name was Mike Lamonte. Shout out to Mike Lamonte. And he basically would put on these lighthouse showcases where you showcase a bunch of different artists. Well, you know, Lad, Dabby, you know, your brother, a bunch of people was always there.
Yeah.
And so I told people, hey, I do photography. I was dabbling in video for real, like
Gotcha.
on the creative side.
Okay.
And so I would take photos. I would literally get my talent out. You know,
Mhm.
I ain't trying to get paid.
Yeah.
You got me on this show. In return, I take some photos for you.
Nice.
So I would get off stage, take photos for him and everything. And then that's how I started to connect.
Mm.
And then at that point, it was just about going through doors and doing a lot of groundwork, being in people's face, giving a lot of stuff away for free, and hoping in return that they actually want to, you know, charge or pay for it.
Nice. Oh, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Mhm.
Always Timeless. From there, you grew, in Arizona,
Mhm.
bro. I tell you, and anyone that a lot of people know you out here now at this point.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking, people are like, "Oh yeah, Dorrell, yeah, man, it's great." Then I'm like, I'm trying to put my 2 cents in. I train under him, Now moving to the wedding space, obviously that's what we kind of like first started doing together.
Yeah.
Weddings, always time. Then you created, always timeless weddings
Weddings.
dedicated to
Just weddings.
just weddings.
Mhm.
Why did you decide to split that in a sense?
So when I first got out here and I was trying to get real money, weddings was the space for real money.
Yeah.
Like that was like you can charge what you can charge. And of course, being in a new city, not understanding what's the value of this city, the price point and all of this.
Mhm.
And because I started doing weddings out of you marrying or you photographing people at your church.
Yeah.
And so basically once I got out here, wedding photography kind of like took off.
Gotcha.
It kind of took off. Like I diversified my portfolio. My style of photography wasn't really here yet. Far as like the way I do my colors, it was a little different.
Yeah.
And I think that my focus of how I would do creative shots
Mm-hmm.
wasn't something that I've seen out here, and I was still learning lighting and things like that.
Gotcha.
So it kind of took off. But once I tried to like switch over to like I started shooting like NBA players and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
people would be like, "Bro, I don't want to really shoot with you because all you got is family and weddings on your Instagram."
Gotcha.
And it was just like, "But bro, I just shot, this, that. I can show you all of that." He was
Right.
like, "But when I pitch you, I'm
Mm-hmm.
pitching you based off of your social.
Yeah.
And your social is showing, weddings and families and all of these things
For
that
sure.
you probably do to get paid.
Right.
But you need to showcase your platform to show what you creatively can do."
Right.
And so that's when I switched over from having all my weddings on one side
Gotcha.
and even though it was the money maker,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have to promote it on my Instagram as the
As
money
much.
maker
Right.
because it was
It was there.
messing me up for like future gigs.
Yeah. There's something to be said about that because I decided to do the same thing because obviously there's a ton of things that I do that I don't show
Yeah.
because I don't want to be known for X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I want to be known for what I want to be known for
Mhm.
when it comes to this space, and that's what I've been learning lately, or telling people that are new to the space. Hey, like yes, try out different things. Like
Yeah.
open yourselves to whatever comes, because that way you could learn in
Yeah.
different situations. And I think that's what I did. And so therefore, when you find that one thing you really want to do, promote yourself
Yeah,
as
post
such,
that. Don't post every single
Don't
thing you do.
yeah.
I think I do not post 80% of my work.
Yeah.
I don't post 80%. I probably post 20%.
Mhm.
And it's because that 80% pays my bills and that
Right.
20% is probably it's a mix. It probably was like that one cool client that was like, "Oh, let me put
Mhm.
this person on because he has a huge following or they have a huge following."
Right.
And then I just didn't want my page to look like, "So is this all you do?" Because
Mhm.
that was the number one question. Is this all you
Yeah, so
do?
yeah.
Like, do you shoot music videos? Do you do this? Do you do that? Yeah, man, I do that. Show me that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me go down my here's one that I post, like, and it's
Yeah.
just like, why clutter your timeline?
Right.
Just give them samples.
Right.
And that's what I learned over the years is just like you give them enough to where, and you put your best foot forward.
Right. For
It's,
sure.
I mean, it's a highlight reel. That's what
That's what
Instagram,
it
that's
is.
what social media
That's
is.
what it is. Yeah.
All your mistakes, you ain't got to showcase that
Right.
just to say I'm still working.
Right.
People know you still working.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
had to get over my mindset of let me post every single day because I know I did a job every single day
Mhm.
and learn how to like, this is a post,
Mhm.
this is a story, this is a reel,
Yeah.
this is just for me,
Right.
and that's it.
Right.
Like that's it.
Nah,
So
obviously there's like this nowadays there's this battle where people are like post every day,
yeah,
post 3 times a day,
yeah,
post 8 stories a day, and then you blow up or you go viral
yeah.
or whatever. How true is that?
I know a lot of millionaires that have 400 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
A lot of my clients that I do work with now, they done bought 3 or 4, 800 or more $1,000 houses,
Yeah.
and they got 200 followers.
Right.
And they, you know how like you see those little plaques that they get for like the little funnel or whatever. It's like gold
Mhm.
and black, or I forgot what they call. All down their hallways.
Mhm.
Live a beautiful life.
Yeah.
Don't have no social media following.
Right.
So it's not really true. I think that if it works for your brand,
Mhm.
then use
Then
it.
use it for
I
sure.
feel like for me, it works for my brand.
Yeah.
So I use it.
Yeah.
But do I have 8,000 or 10,000, 100,000 followers? No.
Yeah.
But I'm working.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For
So
sure.
it's social media can play a great role if you actually let it work for you.
Mm.
But if you're working for social media in general,
Right.
you're gonna slave yourself and
Yeah.
your emotions is gonna be up and down. Nobody saw this post, this one sucked. Oh my God.
Right.
Why are they not paying attention?
Yeah.
It's just like, do what you need to do, be consistent at it.
Mhm.
And that one video that really needs to hit is gonna
It's
hit.
gonna hit.
And then it can go back to your archive.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I that's what I teach everybody. Put your best foot forward. I don't care if you get 200 likes. They're gonna see your archive and see how nice you've been for this long time.
Yeah.
But if you just doing one every once in a while and getting mad because it ain't,
Yeah.
working,
Right.
you messing up your own self.
Yeah, and that's what the algorithm does, right?
Mhm.
It gives you it's like a give and play, like give and play. Like it gives you a little bit, then it takes a little bit from you
Yeah.
as well. That
Yeah.
way you keep playing.
Yeah.
You keep playing that game.
Yeah.
Right. So that story that I said we should put a pin into.
Yeah.
All right. So we're filming a wedding, right?
Okay.
I don't know if you remember this. I can't remember.
Throw the date, please.
I can't remember what day it was. I feel like it was like maybe 2-3 years ago.
You know what kind of what couple it was?
Oh, man.
Was
This
it like
moment, I really, it was a small wedding. It was like in a small, it wasn't a backyard. It was like it was small though.
okay? So
You know, it was like
backyard
a
wedding.
small tight space.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And the bride is coming down, right?
Yeah.
This whole time, it's sunny. The sun is coming through to my eyes. I thought I hit record.
Oh.
Bride coming down the aisle, right? And then after she's all settled in front,
Yeah.
I checked my camera. I'm like, yo, this thing is not recording.
Wait a minute, which
I don't-
wedding?
do you
I'm
remember
trying.
that?
I'm trying to remember. I'm like,
I
remember. Now
you remember what you did. The genius of who this guy is
Okay.
is what you did is obviously you're taking pictures at the same time as the bride is coming down.
Yeah.
So the post video that they got was like
I remember now.
you stitched all these pictures together
Yeah,
to
that's
make
what I
it
was saying.
seem like a video.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
remember now.
Bro.
I remember that.
That was a big mistake for me. You
Oh
know,
man.
Ah,
Oh man, I remember that.
sorry.
But no, my intent is always to kind of give you a guideline
Mhm.
so that I know in post what to do.
Yeah.
So when that happened, and I think you was like, bro, I forgot to press. I forgot. I was like, what you? In my head, I'm already thinking of the edit now.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, all right, you know what? Let's just go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just use all of these photos right here so they can still feel it. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, that was so creative.
Right.
But in reality, we don't have that footage. So don't ask me for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I just know that my goal is always to try to give you a guideline so that in post I know what to grab.
Yeah.
And then you have a creative freedom to like kind of shoot it in a sense the way you would like.
For sure.
But at least I know what you was doing in this sequence so that I can either use it or be like, I'm good on that.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then sometimes when a situation like that had happened, I went back and I did some like small stuff for them to feel like I overcompensated so that they won't even think about it.
Right.
So that's the trickery that we have on our end.
Yep.
It's just like, hey, I decided because it was such and such, it was a beautiful thing that I wanted to add in some extra stuff.
Oh man.
And it was like, oh my gosh, this is so great.
Yeah.
Please leave a review. Once the review is not there,
that's it.
We good.
Yeah,
we good.
That's crazy. It's cool like seeing, you know, the trouble shooting side of
Yes.
because that's what we do. It's like every shoot there's an issue. There's a problem. It's never a perfect thing. And you have to be able to troubleshoot and figure out the way.
Right on the spot.
Yeah.
Right on the
You
spot.
just gotta keep going.
Mhm.
So I got this question for you, man.
Okay.
When was the moment you realized if you don't figure out your process, you wouldn't have a business?
You know, I feel like for me, it's always a learning curve, right? Because until I fine tune my niche of what this is what I do. Don't ask me about nothing else. This is what I do. I had to find a structure that works for everything that I did.
Gotcha.
The biggest thing that helped me, number one, was how I back my things up, right? Like subfolders, you know, dates, times, all of that type of stuff. And then the second thing that helped me was giving myself a window. No, I wouldn't even say a window, but giving myself wiggle room in the turnaround time.
Yeah.
Because what happened was for me, you have a great season, then you got to repeat that again. So you got to convince everybody, hey, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Pay me.
Right.
You know. But I think between learning how to have a referral system, learning how to have a workflow system, and learning how to have a good, really customer service,
Right.
that really is what helped me to like really propel to where I'm at, like my customer service. If I did not have customer service, I don't think that I wouldn't even say as successful as I am, but as likable as I am.
Yeah.
And
it seems like everyone likes you. Every wedding that we go to, everything that we do, every time you introduce me to the bride or the groom, they're like, "Oh, Dorrell's here!" Like,
'cause I didn't already told him the movie.
Yeah.
I told him the movie. He does backflips on the weekend. So I'm joking, but I just told him like, my goal is never to stress anybody out.
For sure.
My goal is to, and the thing is, I think my clients now say like, you always be so calm when it's the craziest.
Mm.
It's because I'm looking for the solution.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna panic with everybody else.
Right.
If the world is going crazy, it's just like, wait a minute, why is the world going? Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna gravitate to that.
For
So naturally, I train myself to calm myself down and pay attention to the solution as opposed to pay attention to the problem.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people, you know, especially in our field, they want to blame somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I couldn't do the shot because this person wasn't, or this person. Go over there and be like, hey, look, I'm gonna need y'all to go back one more time because I want this to look so good for you. Now they're like, oh my gosh, all right, for you, you know.
Yeah.
But if you,
That's really cool that you said that real quick. Because one of the things that I've learned actually is watching you and how you guide people during those, crazy family photo times. Because
you know it's crazy.
It's crazy, and I'm an introvert at art. Like
Yeah.
my thing is just be, I'm just chill. You know me.
I'm here to do my
chill,
job.
lay back. I'm here to do my job. But please move. I don't want to have to tell you.
Yeah.
But you do a good job of like really, hey, could we do this? X, Y, and Z, do this.
Yeah.
And to all those, obviously, there's a lot of creatives that are introverted and don't want to take that step because they are shy, quiet, whatever it is. Like, what would you say to them for that?
I would say, because I'm not an introvert, I'm the type of person I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna try to say it the nicest way,
Right.
but I'm gonna tell you what it is, and we're gonna get it done. The one thing that I can relate to that's as far as introverts, and I think this will help. I'm a perfectionist, so naturally I want what I want.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of introverts are the same way when they look. I want to get this shot a certain way.
Right.
So I would say to introverts, explain the value of what you're doing to them. You can be calm.
Yeah.
You can be collected, but you have to walk in authority so that people can feel like they can trust your process.
True.
Like if you're timid, if you look like you're not confident in your way, they're gonna feel that based off of the way you look.
Yeah.
So you still have to walk in some type of confidence. You can have a beautiful portfolio, but half of the battle is the product. The other half is your personality.
For sure.
You get what I'm saying? So less is more. You don't have to do a lot. I do a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm making the bride and groom laugh because I want my shot to be as natural as possible.
For sure.
If that's not you, you just explain, look, all right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do X, Y, Z, and I think that you guys should do this. That way, I can get this beautiful result. You remember when you seen X, Y, Z on my website? Yeah, I want to do something similar to that.
Yeah.
Okay, now you didn't come out your comfort zone.
Right.
You just explained to them that I want to get this result. So naturally, they're now listening to you because you gave them the cue. You gave them the command. Authority was there.
Yeah.
And you said it in a way that they can receive it.
Right.
That's an introvert way.
Yeah, for sure.
And at that point, you'll get your result.
Yeah.
But you have to speak up.
You have to speak up. Definitely.
It's nowhere around that.
You have to speak up. Still staying on this wedding tip. Justin Porter. I don't know if you've seen his stuff on YouTube recently or Instagram. Is the new wave of the way he's filming weddings, where he's doing a lot more interviews with the guests and just taking them to a room, setting it up, using the red to shoot now.
Of course.
How do you feel about that? Because obviously there's this other side of wedding videography where it's just like, hey, just capture these beautiful moments of the bride and groom rather than trying to piece the story together of interviews. Obviously, I feel like there's a blend that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Of both.
So, number one, as a creative, we must find our lane. Stay in our lane. Because nobody's in that lane but you.
Right.
So, me trying to follow the trends of social media or wedding photography or whatever, videography, it'd be foolish for me. Because if I'm let's just take it from a film perspective. If I'm Michael Bay and you know me for blowing up cars and making Transformers and Bad Boys, that's my style.
Yeah.
So even if I see you doing that over there, that's cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
But that's my style. I'm Gatorade, you're Sprite. We have two different.
Well, I got to be Sprite.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding.
We got two, and I say that because of the fact that, well, if I'm Sprite and you Gatorade, and I'm Michael Bay and you, let's just say you, I can't even think of another director right now.
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, I was about to say, Tarantino, right? Yeah. And yours is more smooth. That's Gatorade.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Bay. I'm about to blow some stuff up. That's Sprite.
Yeah.
If you shake Sprite up and then take the top off,
Yeah.
so that's my sauce.
Mhm.
So for me, it's just like that's great for them. And maybe you might see something that's like, oh, I never thought about that.
Right.
Then you can put that little
You can put
plug.
that in there. Yeah.
But your lane is still your lane.
Still, yeah. Yeah.
Because once you jump out your lane, now you look like somebody. It's just like when it comes to music. Like, I remember I was one of the first rappers and singers.
Mm.
And music labels did not want me to do both.
Mm.
Now it's accepted.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I come back now and they be like, oh, you sound like Drake, it's just like, check my receipts.
Right. You've been doing that for a while.
And it's not even that I'm trying to compare myself, but I've been doing it for a long time. And it's certain people in the videography industry that's probably been doing that style for a long time,
Right.
and that person is getting that shine.
Mm-hmm.
But stay in your lane and you know, insert what you feel makes sure that sauce that much better.
For sure.
That's how I would look at it.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be chasing that forever.
A whole bunch of people doing different
Told me
things.
like, so
Yeah. No, that's good. That's wisdom. So moving forward, you got married, November 2018?
November 4th, 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Been that long. 8 years coming.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it's 7 years.
Yeah. You got a beautiful baby boy.
Yeah, little Dax.
Yeah. Out of that,
Man.
what is the creative side, business owner, and now you're throwing the mix of husband, father.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be super transparent with this, right? Everybody know, based off of my timeline or whatever you want to see, I'm a busy person when it comes to working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
So it's not like on some like, no, this is my silent day. I'm not talking today. Like, no, you tell me come do a podcast, whatever the case may be, I'm gonna come and help.
Yeah.
That takes a toll on your marriage.
Yeah.
Because my brand and my product and who I am as a person, I wouldn't say it's to always be available, but I'm accessible in a way that makes sense for my life, right? So bringing on a kid, it makes it 10 times harder.
For sure.
Because in that first season, my kid is basically growing, so it's a bunch of milestones. And I'm not able to see every single milestones, but on the flip side of things, my wife is there by herself.
Mm-hmm.
So now the relationship between me and my wife changes.
Yeah.
Because this little guy came in,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
But now we got to find our connection again.
Right.
Because now the focus is him.
Right.
So naturally, that wasn't even here.
Mm-hmm.
This business was here that's been the baby for the longest.
Yeah.
And that's the way that we live.
Right.
So naturally, I can't forsake the person that helps me to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to find a balance.
Yeah.
But in this world, there is no balance.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's still an ongoing thing of finding that compromising amount of time to give my family and my wife and just everybody on that side.
For sure.
But it's tough, bro.
Yeah.
It's very tough.
It is. Now having 2 girls.
Yes.
Man.
That's different.
It is.
I don't even know what that's like.
Bro, it's hard, but you find it, man. You figure it out as you go. Obviously I'm busy in a different way than you are busy.
Yeah.
We're both busy, but in very 2 different ways, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I think there is I don't know. I don't know if it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's gonna be mistakes
For sure.
that happen every day.
Yeah.
And it's just about like figuring out, okay, in this moment, this is what needs my attention right now. In this particular moment.
Okay.
And then that's what I, push my time towards.
Yeah.
And if that thing is okay, then I push my time towards something else.
Yeah,
That's how I've been trying to figure out how that works.
That makes sense.
But yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world, I would rather have a lot of my jobs be streamlined in a way where I can take the head off and give it to the next person. Because I know that in this next season of my life, it's going to be very vital and important for me to be with my family.
For sure.
Based off the fact that my son is now starting to get at that age, and that he has a muscle memory to like learn and see and know when I leave and know when she leaves, and starting to try to talk, and so it's imperative and very important for me to be present.
Yeah.
Um, but like I said, as an entrepreneur, it's not financially, it's not set in stone.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's set in stone.
Oh yeah.
So at the end of the day, while I'm trying to be this father figure and try to be this great, cameraman and all of that, my bills be like, that's cute, but at the 15th of every month, you gotta pay this. At the first of every month, you gotta pay that. I know you're going through. I know you're tired.
Yeah.
But
this is coming up.
It's gonna stay here until you pay it all off.
Yeah, this morning I woke up and then money gone out of my account.
Oh
Like,
man.
wait, what was that for? You know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, that
So,
happens, bro.
so yeah, man. I mean, paying employees and paying contract people and paying so much.
Yeah,
It just doesn't stop. So the balance is the hardest part.
for sure.
But my focus has to be what makes sense in
Yeah.
that season.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely, yeah.
So
How do you for people that are like either starting up or people that are, in business, creatives that have been in business for a
Mhm.
while, trying to figure out the business side of things because, as creatives, we focus on the craft,
yeah,
craft heavy,
yeah,
but there's all this other side that we have to also
yeah,
know how to navigate.
yeah.
How did you get to that part where you're like, or do you still feel you're still trying to figure out things, or
I mean, of course, you're still trying to figure out things because now I got a studio,
Mhm.
I got a business partner, we gotta get bank accounts for that. We gotta get, so much to make sure that it's like who taking this on their taxes? Is it me or is it you? You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's a whole new
That's a
venture.
whole
You know what I'm
different,
saying?
yeah.
So, but prior to that, Always Timeless as a whole, I feel like my first thing I did was got a bank account.
Mhm.
Like I was just like, I need a bank account to say Always Timeless.
Yeah.
Now this is just me being me and like wanting to like obviously step in that role,
Mhm.
but not know exactly what it entails.
Right.
But I know that I needed to have my money separate from
Your
my
personal.
own personal.
Mhm.
So that was just off the rip. And I think that everybody, get a DBA, get your company name. And I had to file my company through the state, like state of Arizona and a bunch of other stuff. And they do that right at the bank for you.
Right.
So that way nobody else can use your name.
Mhm.
You're good. And then on the back end, I think once I started getting into like wedding shows and all of those things where it was just like, you got to get insurance, you got to get that. That's when I was just like, all right, let me get an LLC
Mhm.
and make sure I'm good on that part
Mhm.
because filing everything under my social is cool.
Yeah.
But once you start making real money, like you have to like start filing taxes the right way.
Mhm.
And it's just like either you keep on doing it under your social or eventually you get the LLC
Mhm.
so that then, because the next thing is like, I needed to establish business credit.
Gotcha.
So it's just like my social and my LLC is two
It's
different things.
things. Yep.
And that's the EIN number and all of that. So I wanted to have the separator. And that's when I got serious. And then my wife was just like, all right, it's time to get a CPA.
Mhm.
Like, let's stop playing around.
Yeah.
Let's stop having you do the
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah.
And let's like start having a CPA actually show you where you can save, where you can cut, what
Mhm.
you can actually write off, what you can actually get. That way it can expand our knowledge. And on the flip side of things, you just know how to
Right.
invest, how to buy equipment, how to do certain
do
things.
that.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was a longer journey. It
Sure.
wasn't something that just popped out because I was focused on the craft.
Yeah.
But after a while, like I said, once I started making real money,
Mhm.
that's when it was
That's
just
why
like,
it
all
was
right,
like, yeah.
yeah, we got to
We
separate
gotta
this
do
too.
this. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. That's what I've been telling a lot of, newer people that are starting off. I'm
Yeah.
like, just start from, just do it the right
Now.
way now.
Yeah.
Because for me, thankfully, I had my dad that already had a business. So my questions were straight up to him, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
And he just broke it down for me. Go here, get your
And a lot of
name.
people don't have that.
Yeah.
A lot of
Like
people don't.
luckily for me, go here, get your name, get your EIN, open up your bank account.
Yeah.
Separate both of those, and then
Mhm.
even filing taxes. He taught me how to file my taxes,
That's what's up.
and like showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
Still to this day, I still do my taxes by myself.
Oh,
But
that's
obviously, I wanna get off
Yeah,
my hands
yeah.
because it's a pain in the head sometimes.
Man.
So
And I'm not gonna lie, it's a breeze now.
yeah,
It's a breeze now. All I do is literally have everything for the year, all of my expenses, all of my, my bills,
hmm
all of my finances of what I made,
hmm
and then all of my miscellaneous,
yeah,
and I give it all to
give
him.
it to him. Yeah,
And then within a day or so, she's like, all right, here's my
Really?
payment. I'm telling you, it's so quick. But it's more so because, you know, like I said, I put everything on the spreadsheet, so it's easy for me.
Yeah.
And this is just my sauce. This is not everybody. I only use my bank account for bills
Mm-hmm.
and payments.
Mhm.
No Chipotle,
Yeah.
no Taco Bell, no none of that. So you can literally just take my bank statement and just give it to
That's
her.
good.
You get what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And I got my own personal. And or now what I do is because I'm big on credit, I use my credit card for everything.
Yeah, man.
So I swipe in everything on my credit card, get all of those points, everything,
Yep.
and I pay all my bills through my bank account
Yep.
and all of my payments through my bank account. So that's my structure.
Gotcha.
So that way it made it so much easier for my taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and it was already in PDF form.
Right.
And once you do it on any platform now, you can get a spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that made it easier for me.
For sure. Nice. So you talked about on having a studio, business partner. You know, I remember when you told me about actually even before it actually became a thing. You've been talking about this for a while.
Man.
You know, you're like
Yes.
I'm trying to get a space.
Yeah.
You know, now it's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is good, man.
Yeah.
That is good. I think what happened was and this is the funny thing. So my business partner, Rube, he basically, I always say we the tortoise in the hare.
Mm.
I'm a slowpoke. I'm not jumping into anything based off the fact that I feel it.
Right.
Because financially, I'm a feel it too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but he's in reverse.
Mhm.
He's the type of person I'd be like, bro, I think we should paint the ceilings black, and I think we should put stars in it like a Maybach. I mean, like a Rolls Royce. And he'd be like, oh, that do sound cool. And then I'll leave the room, and then next week we got
Yeah,
Rolls
done.
Royce stars. Like, it's just like, bro, chill. Like,
Yeah.
it was just an idea.
Yeah.
So I end up running into him based off of like actually shooting his family.
Mm-hmm.
And he told me about some ventures that he had. Hey, bro, I think it'd be cool if I hire you to do some sports stuff.
Mm.
Now, I used to do sports photography and everything back in the days.
Yeah.
There's some money in there if you choose to have it, but it's a lot of work for a little bit of money.
For sure.
I was like, I'm good. Probably like 4 or 5 years later, my friend said, hey, I got a buddy that needs your services because his photos is trash. And I was just like, what? And so I was like, well, just let him know. And then she was like, yeah, he said he's been trying to get in touch with you, but he haven't heard back from you. And I guess I don't really check my Facebook as much because everything is like Instagram and all of that type of stuff for the website. So he had a message there, and I finally hit him back and was like, bro, whatever you need, just let me know.
Yeah.
Ended up shooting his family again. And this time he kind of approached me with like, hey, I got this apparel company. And he was like, I want you to shoot like my apparel for my apparel company if that's something that you get, down for. Now, we've been shooting stuff for like Lad and everybody for a minute. True Flash, shout out to True Flash. So,
Tech,
yeah, all of that, Bed Tech, everything.
Yeah.
So naturally, shooting something like that, I kind of enjoy that. So it's just like, yeah, let's do it. We worked together for probably like 5 or 6 months, and we started chopping it up. And when we started chopping it up, I was like, oh man, this is a good guy. Like, he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
And he thought the same thing of me. And at that point, I was his standard. So when it came to photo and video, he would hire everybody else and be like, we'll go back to rail.
Yeah.
Like, that's just what it is. And so at that point, we ended up working so much together that it was just like, man, I was like, I'm thinking about getting a space. And he was like, man, I'm thinking about getting a hub for the apparel. And he was just like, man, well, if you shooting all of my stuff and you looking for a space, then why don't we get a space together? And I was just like, I was actually going to get another photographer.
Gotcha.
And we was going to do it. But at the time, we kind of like fell out of contact. And it was no hardship or nothing like that. It just looked like he kind of switched his route.
Gotcha.
And so anyway, he ended up saying, bro, I was in New Orleans. I was headed to New Orleans for Essence Fest. And he had called me up and was just like, bro, I think I got something I want you to look at. Can you FaceTime? And he FaceTimed me, and it was a building. I was just like, the building was like crappy. And he was like, what would you do differently about this? I was like, first of all, I couldn't be in that space because the ceiling's too low.
Yeah.
If I want to put, strobes at the top,
Yeah.
big, aqua guns, boxes or whatever, I need a taller ceilings.
Right.
He was like, okay. He was like, you think you can come over here and check it out? I was like, oh no, I gotta get ready to go to the airport. Ended up going to New Orleans, doing New Orleans. When I came back, we was talking over the phone the whole time. He was just like, man, it's like 2,000 square feet and we can do X, Y, Z, this and that and that. I was like, that sound dope. Like, it sound dope. Like, I would love to do it.
Yeah.
So anyway, he was just like, yeah, man. I went to New Orleans. When I came back, he was like, bro, I need you to see something. I was like, what? He's like, I got the keys.
Oh man.
I was like, what you mean you got the keys? We talked about it. I said I would if,
Yeah.
but what you mean? He was like, yeah, man, he gave me a good deal. We actually got both of the spaces. So it's like 4,000 square feet. He was like, this half can be yours, this half can be mine. This is what the bill is, blah, 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 this and that. What you think? I was like, man, like I said, I still need these ceilings to be gone and blah, blah, blah. But I said, that'll be dope.
Yeah.
I said, we can shoot all of the apparel on the inside. And then at that point, we don't have to outsource. We don't have to rent studios. We don't have to do anything. We got a playpen, basically, to create.
Yeah.
Bro, I went back out of town, came back, ceiling was done, floors was done. All of the stuff that I was just spitballing.
Right.
And then at that point, that's when I was like, all right, I'm in. Because I think I got the right partner for what I need to do. And then now I can start putting my money behind it and we can start building this up.
For sure.
And then that's when we built the podcast room. We built, and it's been pretty cool ever since.
Nice, man. What's the name of the podcast?
So, no. So the name of the studio is Timeless 24.
Nice.
His brand is called 24, Team 24. And of course, mine is always Timeless. So we mirrored the two.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's a studio space where you can come in, you create sets. We have a podcast studio where you can record. And like I said, at the podcast studio, you can do two things. You can rent it out, bring your own camera gear. We provide the lights, we provide the tripod stands, all of that type of stuff, the mics and everything. Or if you're a newbie and you don't have all of this type of stuff, you come in, we'll record you.
Nice.
And that way we'll charge you a fee for recording you.
Right.
And you can do a subscription where you can just come in, you don't even have to buy nothing, you just show up with your people. And so we got a couple of people that's doing that now. They come in twice a month, do batch content, have a couple of guests. I record everything. You bring your own external hard drive, you get all the files, and then you're good to go.
Nice.
Yeah, man. So
that's a cool business model.
Man, listen, you know just as well as I know.
Yeah.
To be able to not have to edit people's stuff.
Oh man. Yes.
That saves so much time.
So much time. For sure.
Yeah.
No, bro. So where do you see, yourself going in this space in the next 5-10 years?
In that space or just
in general, like with your business?
Man, I think in the next 5 years, man, I got some personal financial goals that's kind of like outrageous, but I think I can reach it. But I think mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, I really just want to kind of gravitate to kind of bettering me in a sense.
Gotcha.
And what I mean by that is I've exhausted so much. I've emptied out my cup so many different times, but I think over the years I forgot about me sometimes. And it's not to sound selfish, it's just more so I need to learn me a little bit to be better for everybody else.
Gotcha.
So I feel like in this next space, man, I want to, become a better father, become a better husband, become a better business person, become a better listener, because in our space, it's just like we need to know everything.
Yeah.
But sometimes we need to pause and actually think and actually take heed in and take heed to it. So
sure.
I really just want to be a better version of me in the next 5 years. And whatever that consists of, it's just going to kind of, I think you will see it. Everybody will see it. If I'm this version right now and this is what I'm doing, I'm pretty sure that's about to be on steroids.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I think that I want to be able to really hear what God has for my life more than, continue to do a bunch of stuff without a vision or a goal or end goal. You get what I'm saying? So that's really what I want to be in the next 5 years. It's not, I know that's very, broad, but in a sense, I think that being a better version of me, able to understand the things that I need so that I can be better for everybody else, I think it'll be better for overall.
Nice, bro. That's cool. I am here for it.
Yes.
We've been doing a lot of stuff together. We'll keep doing that.
For sure.
And just wherever God, takes us, leads us, So I am glad you came on this.
Likewise, man.
Is there anything else that you haven't said that you'd like to share? Whatever it is.
I don't know, man. I mean, at the end of the day, we got one life. We got one life. And we got so many 60 seconds in a day. I refuse to allow one 60-second comment to make me feel bad for the entire day,
Mm.
right? I think that we need as people, we need to be the change that we want to see. And I know that's so repetitious or repetitive in the sense of like hearing that statement. But when you actually break down that statement, if you truly be who God called you to be,
Mhm.
it's gonna affect every single person around you.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So it ain't no reason to be competition in this field, especially not in our space, because so many people can do so many things, and there is enough clients, content, money, and everything for everybody.
Yeah.
This world spends at least $7 billion a year on marketing.
Right.
That's us.
Right.
We actually got to produce the product.
Mhm.
So the money is there.
Mhm.
It just comes down to you being the version of you,
Mm.
and you'll attract everything that you need to your life.
Nice, bro. Nice.
Yeah.
Is that your last piece of
That's
wisdom
my last,
and
man. I was just
advice?
freestyling. I was over here just, you know what I mean? But that's it, man.
Nice.
Like I said, just be true to yourself, man, and truly like, I'm just saying, I'm always that type of person. Go for everything.
Yeah.
Don't leave this world empty.
Yeah.
Don't leave this world full. Leave it empty. Go for
Yeah.
everything. Try it all.
Right.
Exhaust it.
Mhm.
So that way God can say, well done, my good and
Good
faithful
faithful
servant.
servant.
And you use your gifts.
Yes. The
You get what I'm
ones he gave
saying?
you.
Yeah,
The
everything that he
ones he
gave you,
gave.
use it. I'm trying to
Yes.
use everything.
Yeah.
So you might see me with like 19 different more shows out here. But I just want to be able to be used and change somebody's life.
Nice.
That's pretty much
That's
it.
good. I think the overall takeout for me from this is, you have your gifts, you have opportunities. As you continue to take those opportunities and actually learn,
Mm-hmm.
even from my story with, our relationship together, it's just like taking those opportunities to learn,
Yeah.
will take you so far as you
Oh,
continue
sure.
to go,
Mhm.
And so, where could people find you?
If you want to find me on social media, I'm gonna look right at this camera. If you want to
Yeah.
find me on social media, I would say Always Tower. That's my personal. Always Timeless Productions is my actual Instagram. So Always Timeless PRD. And if for the studio, man, Timeless 24 Studio. So that's pretty much it. And
Nice, bro.
you find me there.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
Likewise.
Everyone, thank you guys for watching the show. Thank you for stopping by. I'm excited to continue to tell the stories of creatives and their businesses. Like I say, everyone has something to create, so go create something.
Nice.